So there's never a dull moment here at Wading Pines Camping Resort. I invite y'all to come out if you would like to see all the excitement in person or just really have a good time. We have a very good time here. Here's our brand new honey pot. It's gas powered instead of electric. Really works a lot better. We just got that last week. So we had a lot of happenings this week at the campground. So what happened was, we'll get into that more in a minute. We got some stuff to do. I'm going up now to check on, we got our new pizza oven came in for the snack shack. I want to go see that. I got to take care of this. I got a jury summons. As y'all all know, if you've been watching the channel, I domicile in Livingston, Texas. I am working in Chatsworth, New Jersey. Today is the 2nd of June, and then my jury duty is June the 8th. So we'll have to figure that out. I'll give them a call. Normally it's not a problem. And then we'll talk about the 4 million honeybees that got trapped here in the campground. We'll also talk about what we thought was a lobster in the pool. I'll see if I can find a photo of that. I meant to save it on my phone. If not, we will at least talk about it some. And we are just now arriving here at the rec hall. We're gonna go in and see how the new pizza oven is coming together in the snack shack. I can hear Cindy and Jesse in there, loud as ever. Here's the rec hall, nice and clean. I had to call Capital City Vending this morning. 2 of their machines are broken. Jesse's being a jerk, slamming the door in my face. Is this the new pizza oven?
It's very hot.
It's very hot. It's not sitting very well.
Yeah, that's what me and Miss Cindy were talking about.
We'll have to call the rep. So we got this from Cisco. It's Benchmark USA. You like it or not like it? The jury's still out?
Jury's still out.
Jury's still out with the shaking of a no. So we may have to return it if it doesn't work right. Then I saw some at the Restaurant Depot that looked very good.
I would probably have been happier with that. We'll live and learn.
Yep. So
which is why I didn't get 2.
So we're gonna.
I really need 2, but I didn't get 2 because I wanted to try it to see how I like it.
So we're gonna cook up some free pizzas for the employees today.
Yes.
Okay, and we'll see how it works. The pool tester is here testing our water to see how we did this week. Pool's still looking good. Morning. So the pool tested perfect. pH is 7.4 and the chlorine is 4.0, which is exactly what we want. So here's the scene of the lobster / crawfish. So we come up here Wednesday morning, the day that my last vlog aired, and y'all all know what a terrible weekend we had the weekend before. We came up here, and sitting right down here in the water was an 8-inch crawfish. And we had to get the nets out. I would have thought the chlorine would have killed him. We had to get the nets out and chase the crawfish around. He was finally safely captured, and we transported him down to our pond and put him in our pond. So I did some research, and if you look right through there, you see the volleyball net, you see where the beach ends and it kind of, the horizon disappears. That's where the Wading River is. So a crawfish can actually walk in the right conditions up to a mile to get to fresh water, according to ChatGPT. And it was raining and there were a lot of puddles in the street, and so I don't actually think that someone put the crawfish in the pool. I think he just didn't like his habitat and went looking for fresh water, found the pool, and ended up here. So wasn't anybody being bad, we don't think, or I don't think, but it was a crawfish being bad. So we got him transported to a new home, but you're talking about probably 2 hours of pursuit with the crawfish. That was Wednesday. Now let's go down to the office area and we will talk about the 4 million bees. I just can't get over how nice the campground looks compared to 2 years ago. Oh, let me stop right here and show you this. So if you stay in the campground, if you camp here, you'll know that this corner light was hit by, I think, a golf cart a couple years ago, and it's just had cinder blocks around it holding it up. And yeah, we found a new used pole, got it put up. For some of these people to start cleaning their yards, they need to get their weed eaters out. That's one thing here, as part of their seasonal agreement, is they're responsible for their own yards. With all the stuff they put in their yards, that's a nice one, they keep that one up nice. With all the stuff that gets put in these yards, there's no way we could take the liability for actually maintaining without anything getting destroyed. Here I am back at the office where the big bee incident occurred Saturday night, Sunday morning. Cindy and I were just getting ready to go to bed and the radio went off, and it was Sean, who is our part-time security, part-time maintenance person, and he said that some of the seasonals had let an 18-wheeler into the park. So this is the tight area that this 18-wheeler was in. The 18-wheeler is 87 feet long. Before I show you what happened in the park, I'm going to show you outside the park what the 18-wheeler tried to do. So for some reason, he is going to Ocean Spray to deliver, I think he said 284 colonies of bees. So when the beekeeper came, I said, how many bees is in 284 colonies? He said it's about 4.2 million bees. Now they had a net over them, thank goodness. But let me show you what he tried to do. So he's driving an 84-foot tractor trailer unit. And I don't know what it weighs, but I know my camper is 12 tons, 24,000 pounds. And I know that an 18-wheeler weighs more than that. So he pulls up to Godfrey Bridge, which is one lane. And y'all, this is a 5-ton, one-lane bridge. So he pulls all the way up here. I don't even know if it probably is wide enough for him, but he comes up here, and we had a seasonal guest right there on site 225. She came running over to the fence, yelling and screaming. Evidently she used to be a CDL driver, and stopped him and told him, I mean, look at this old wore out bridge. Can you imagine what would have happened if he would have took that on here? And so she stopped him, helped him back out past the campground, and told him to wait for her, and she was going to get the car so she could light up the road so he could see to back all the way down Godfrey Bridge Road. Look at this old bridge. And he decided to turn into the campground. This is our waterfront sites right here. He decided to turn into the campground. And then before she could get up there, there was a group of seasonals with a gate card already letting him into the campground. The campground is tight. We have certain routes. If you've got a big fifth wheel, we have certain routes you have to go. No one told him that. By the time Cindy and I got up here, he was jackknifed in the entrance to the campground. Let me go show you that. If you want to see a lot of the incident, I went ahead and did a live from my cell phone, and it runs about an hour and 35 minutes before my battery started dying. And it's called 4 Million Bees Trapped in the Campground. It's the last live I did. I'll try to link it somewhere in this video or at the end, but you need to watch that. It's quite entertaining, so I'm told. When the truck driver got in the campground, he turned to the right, which if he would have gone down to the shop, he could have turned around, but he was scared of the S-turn at the end. So when I got up here, he was positioned right here with, you can still see some of the scuff marks. We have leveled the road back out the best we could. But well, I'm gonna have to take a break for a minute. The fire inspector is here to re-inspect the campground for the repairs we needed to do. So we passed the inspection here for the main building. I've got Big Bobby. Since Big Bobby handled all the repairs, I've got him taking the inspector around to the other locations, and we're gonna get back to the bee story. So it's 11:50, 12 o'clock at night, Saturday night, Sunday morning. We get the call. We're up here at the front gate. We get here, he's jackknifed there. The wheels on the left side of the trailer are actually off the ground. He's so jackknifed, and I was worried he was gonna flip it with all those bees on there. The bees were just the hives all stacked up, and they were strapped with like big thick straps over the top of them. Then they had a cargo cover, but it was vented, almost like a very thick small hold net. So when he's backing up Godfrey Bridge Road, this is our side gate. When he's backing up Godfrey Bridge Road, he backs up past this, and then the lady's going to get her car, and he decides to pull in here, which this was an easy turn. He just came in. There was plenty of room for his tail back there when it came around. Then he came in. It was a very easy entrance. Came in right here, and he was let in here at the gate. You have to have a card. So we have the guest number who actually did their gate, like card 10 or 15 times on the system. It logs everybody that comes in and out. It opened, and then he took a left, backed up, and then tried to pull back out here. He could not get through the opening because of the turn. Now we have already repaired this. He destroyed this metal pipe, this pipe that was in here. There's the metal pipe. It was painted yellow. We've covered it. It was pretty scarred up, so we covered it with a piece of PVC. We got the backhoe over here and we straightened it out. I don't know how this pipe got pushed over. It was leaning way over, and we were able to straighten it out. Then we finally got him up to the point right here, and you see this right here. We had a tree right here, and the trailer was getting hung up on the tree. So we had people jumping this fence and stuff and everything, and they ended up, you can see right here, this is broken. Broke that part off. And then with all the people going up and over trying to help with the truck, this whole piece here broke. And then this sign was on the tree, so we had to install this 4x4 post here. That sign, you can see it got completely ripped off. You can see how it's now missing pieces where the screws were, but he got hung up on the trailer because he was so close to this. He ended up hitting this pole, and he ended, in the end, the top of the bottom of the trailer was on top of this metal pole that was in there, and he got stuck there for almost an hour and a half. We had to call the state police. I'm never going to get through with this story. I got to go find some batteries. Evidently, the exit sign he tested earlier worked, and he decided to test it again. And when the lights turn on, the exit sign turns off because the batteries are low. Hopefully, we've got them in the maintenance building. If not, he's gonna have to come back, but everything else passed. It's always, always something. It's been 2.5 hours, and I'm finally finished with the fire marshal. We're good for another year. I forget where I left off on the bee story. So just to finish it off, we ended up calling the state police around 3 a.m. And I don't know if I said anything about the people from Ocean Spray sending 2 beekeepers out with forklifts and trailers, and the bees were too stirred up. So state police came there to help us try to get somebody with a commercial tow truck to lift the back end of the truck around so that he could drive straight out, because he couldn't get the angle right. And they called like 6 or 7 different towing companies, and the towing companies said that they couldn't get there. One of them, none of them could come but one, and he couldn't be there until sometime between 8 and 10 o'clock. And the beekeeper said, no, these bees are so jacked up, they're so agitated and stressed out that if they're still on the truck when the sun comes up, they're going to try to come out of the hives, and it would end up mostly killing most of the bees. So the beekeeper and the state police made the decision to just power through, and that's what bent the pole the rest of the way with the truck being jerked off. So it damaged the fence the rest of the way. We had to straighten the corner pole out, and he got out. I'm guesstimating it cost the campground between $2,000 and $2,500 between man hours and damage. So for the exciting version, go watch the live on this channel. I'm just telling you, I am so tired. So we're doing a section of the park. We're upgrading from 30 amp to 50 amp. That's where we just pulled up. And last year we did another section of the park where we upgraded from 30 to 50 amp. And once we did it, the Atlantic City Electric was not providing enough power, because I don't know if it's a transformer, they call it a pot, but it's the white thing on the end of the pole. It was too small to handle the number of RVs on 50 amp compared to 30 amp. So I went ahead and called last week. I called Atlantic City Electric. I had them send a supervisor out in the engineering department. I showed them the plans. I showed them what the pot was. And so the pot is right up there on the pole. So they came out 2 days ago in the evening, and they changed it out to that bigger pot, or one like that. Unfortunately, it was a defective pot, and evidently they're full of some kind of motor oil or oil of some sort, and it leaked all over this tarp, this building, that camper, the camper over there. So last night at approximately 7:30, they had a cleanup crew come from Pennsylvania, and they deal with hazardous waste. This was not hazardous waste. It was basically a thick cooking oil that they use to keep the transformer cool, and they keep it lubricated. But because it was an oil base, federal regulations required them to come clean it up. Plus, it had dirtied up other people's property. So I was out with them until 9:30 last night. So yesterday was, I don't know, a 16-hour day. And then I was awakened at 6:45 by a corporate call from the company that manages these campgrounds to discuss another matter, and I've just been working ever since. And I don't finish a task before something else arises. I came over to check the electric. I thought I'd bring you along. So these are all 30 amp sites, but look at the size of these campers. That's a 50 amp camper. That's a 30 amp. This is a 50 amp. So, and all the trees and everything here, the electric company, they've made it this far. They're about halfway. They're having to hand dig this. But the problem is they're trying to put the electric on top of the sewer. And they keep hitting water lines and sewer pipes. And so we, being campground staff, are having to make all the repairs on top of everything else that we're doing. That is a cluster of a mess. And then all our guests have so much stuff on their sites, and we're not really trying to move, almost fell, as little as possible. But here's sewer pipe, and you know, these roots have probably already weakened the pipe, so we're trying to go in and make these repairs. So far they have hit multiple water lines, multiple sewer pipes. I'm assuming if this section had cable, it probably ain't gonna have cable anymore, but they wanted electric. There's Bobby with our tractor. So it's not our job. We're paying $60-something thousand to have these 16 sites upgraded. And it's creating so much more work for my team. They're bringing the wire down. They're going to try to lay the wire in this section. Now, that's the old wire. Right there. That's the old 30 amp wire. That is all the new 50 amp wire down there, if you can see the black wire. Huge difference. So we're upgrading the electrical here. And so one thing Cindy and I have to do is, on top of managing the everyday
Drop off first.
the everyday goings-ons at the campground, we're also having to manage projects like new roofs, new siding, new pool liner, new electric. I mean, just the list. There's not enough hours in the day. And now, 2 weeks from now, our assistant manager is taking a 3-month sabbatical so she can go to Alaska. I'm glad she had the opportunity, and I would rather give her the time off than not have her come back this year. But we're already not getting any time off, and holy moly, I'm excited for her. I wish I could go to Alaska, but if we're going to take any time off, we've got to do it in the next 2 weeks. Because after that, we're not going to get any time off. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and call about jury duty. So I'll let y'all know what they say. I did not get an answer. I tried to finish the automated thing, but it kept saying at the very end it didn't receive my last entry, which is that I'm Escapees member and I'm out of state. So I called the court number and just left a message on the answering machine, left my phone number. Hopefully I'll hear back from them, but there should be record in the system that I called in. I used my jury number, and then I've got the message. So I think I'm fine. We'll know if on the 9th I get hauled off to jail for missing court. I gotta go fill out the paperwork for the milk license now and for weights and measures for the laundry room. And then I've got to go get some money orders because that's one thing about this particular company. They'll give you a credit card, but they won't give you a checkbook. Last campground we managed, we had a checkbook that we were able to pay bills out of. And so I have to do money orders. So I have to go to Tuckerton as the closest place to get a money order. And that's where I'll leave and go to next. We're headed to the Walmart in Tuckerton. That is the closest place to get a money order. The post office machine here, or the post office here in Chatsworth, actually doesn't have any printers or any way to do a money order, even though I thought post offices were supposed to have money orders. So the closest place is Walmart in Tuckerton. We're going to do the 20-minute drive up there. And I got to get some water for the employees anyway. I would like to report that the pizza oven does work very well. The pizzas were nice and cooked all the way through. Takes about 18 minutes to cook a pizza. So we're gonna go to Tuckerton. I'll bring you back at Walmart. All right, we've made it to Walmart. So I got to get the 2 money orders, and then for maintenance team, I got to get them 4 cases of water. And then Cindy wants some apple cider vinegar with mothers in it. I'm gonna get that and some cat food. And I sold a few things on eBay, and so I'm gonna get the eBay items. For those of you that bought Cindy's bracelets off eBay, thank you very much. I'll list them down below. I think she's put one more up there, but y'all are being completely awesome, and thank you very much. And I checked this morning, and we sold 2 more of the books we published on Amazon, the cookbooks. I'll put the link down here also for that. And I want to thank you. I've got the best audience, and we wanted to thank y'all. So the ladies back there helped me with the money orders. I got the money orders, now to do some shopping. So we got the water, then we're gonna go find Cindy's stuff. I don't know how many of y'all use apple cider vinegar. I think I'm gonna try the organic Walmart brand, but we use it we drink it in the morning with some water, and then Cindy puts it in a solution, and I think I'll get 3 of those, and she soaks her feet in an apple cider vinegar solution. I am astounded at how much dog treats have gotten. Now, I get Chance these dog ears. They're $19 for 10 of them. And he eats one every night before he goes to bed. He absolutely loves them. I need some packing supplies for eBay and a couple boxes. Just trying to do it little by little. We're almost back to the campground. I had to stop by Mick's Canoe Rentals. That's where our mailbox is to get our packages and our mail. So now I'm back on Godfrey Bridge Road. I just don't understand having to drive 1.5 miles from your location to get to your mailbox. I don't know if that's a rural mail thing. We had the same issue when we managed in Minnesota, but it's crazy. You would think they could have straightened the line out for this road a little more than they have. It's a pretty road. Trees need trimmed back. Been after the township to do that for a while. Not making any headway at all with that. This is the truck is full. I'm gonna go drop that stuff off and I'll be back. Maja Carts came in a little while ago to just do a quick check and service on all the rental golf carts. And they are good. That's something we didn't have before. He actually came out and did like a quarterly inspection to make sure all the batteries were good and everything. So we're happy with that. As you can see, I'm back to the campground, and evidently there was an issue with the cleanup crew last night, so I've got to go back over to that project. Sounds like the cleaning crew is going to have to come back tonight, which is going to be a bummer because Cindy and I were going to do a river cruise, a river dinner. It's one of our employees slash friends' birthday tonight, and they were doing a surprise dinner cruise. So Cindy may still go, but it looks like I'm gonna have to stay and babysit the campground. It's 7:30 in the evening. I got Sir Chance-a-Lot right here, and we're going for his pre-dinner walk. I just got home from the office. The waste management or the waste cleanup or whatever the company is that Atlantic City Electric is supposed to be sending out has not arrived yet. Cindy just called, she should be home in a little bit. They ended up not doing the riverboat thing. They had a pizza party. I think they did it here in the campground, so that was a little better. Cindy doesn't like to drive at night. We've had another long day. It's been another long week. It seems constant and non-stop. So if you are thinking about managing a campground, make sure you've got the energy to do it. Till next time, y'all, thank y'all for watching, and thank you for all the support. And we'll see you on the next one. Good night.